However, I think you mentioned about the worldwide head of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community in the person of His Holiness Hazrat Masroor Ahmed. He gave the theme, and obviously he couldn't just leave us. So he also sent a message to show how important this topic is to him. And I call the president of the Pan-African Ahmadiyya Muslim Association, PAAMA UK, Tommy Callon, to read the president of His Holiness Hazrat Masroor Ahmed.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Message to the Pan-African Peace Symposium. Distinguished guests, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. May peace and blessings of Allah be upon you. I am extremely pleased that with the grace of Allah, the Pan-African Ahmadiyya Muslim Association UK is once again hosting a peace symposium. I pray that this event proves successful in all respects and extend my heartfelt best wishes to all participants. There is no doubt that Africa is a vast and great continent, immensely blessed by Allah the Almighty with abundant natural resources. Yet, it is also a sad reality that for generations, Africans were exploited and oppressed under colonial rule. Indeed, the wounds of that painful era still echo in the memories of many of your people. Thankfully, due to the grace of Allah the Almighty, African countries gained independence during the past century. And since then, each country has sought to progress and develop. However, the reality is that many African nations have not yet attained the level of progress and stability that was longed for and expected upon achieving independence. Indeed, given the ongoing deprivation and unrest in many African countries, some may even question whether Africa would have fared better had your countries remained under Western colonial rule. Yet, I consider such a notion to be profoundly unjust and utterly misguided. Therefore, always prize and value the independence you have gained and never fall prey to an inferiority complex. Moreover, never underestimate yourselves, as the African people have been blessed with great intelligence, wisdom, resilience, and capability. Today, Africa is home to over 1.55 billion people across 54 nations, more than the combined populations of Europe and North America. As I said, your continent possesses vast natural resources and a youthful population brimming with energy and promise. This combination means that Africa is immensely rich in potential. However, to unlock this potential, African nations must be imbued with determination, unity of purpose, and a commitment to sustained hard work. Honesty must prevail, corruption must end, and all forms of division must be replaced with cooperation and trust. Furthermore, you should not only aspire for Africa to become a global power, but also for it to lead the world towards peace, justice, and true prosperity. Nevertheless, it is regrettable that in some parts of Africa, peace remains elusive, where internal conflicts persist and innocent people continue to suffer. Thus, my message to the African people is that you must act with absolute justice and integrity at all levels of society. Indeed, it is my firm belief that if all African nations, their governments, and their peoples act with honesty, integrity, discipline, and also recognize the value of diligent hard work, they would have the potential not only to prosper, but to become the world's leaders and amongst the most successful and thriving nations on earth. It is my hope and prayer that if and when Africa rises to a position of global prominence and leadership, its rise will not be limited to economic or political strength. Even more importantly, I pray that Africa rises as a moral leader, one that establishes true peace and justice within its own lands and sets a shining example for the rest of the world to learn from and emulate. I firmly believe that justice shall always remain the foundation of all true progress. Whenever people or nations gain power, it is imperative that they uphold justice without bias or prejudice. Power should never lead to arrogance or revenge. Therefore, if and when Africa gains real power and influence on the world stage, it should neither seek vengeance for past injustices nor seek to unjustly treat those weaker than it. Instead, it should demonstrate true leadership, becoming a means of peace, reconciliation, and security for its own continent and the world. Without sincerity, honesty, and sustained effort, even the most eloquent speeches or peace symposiums can have no lasting impact. Only through truth, justice, and a commitment to hard work can noble aspirations for sustained peace and progress be realized. I therefore pray that Allah the Almighty blesses the nations and peoples of Africa in every way. I pray that the nations of Africa, both internally and as a collective, are united and that their governments and citizens work hand in hand in peace, setting a powerful precedent for the world at large. May He enable you to become a source of peace, prosperity, and harmony, not only for Africa, but for all humanity. May the blessings of Allah the Almighty be upon you all. Amen. With best wishes and prayers, yours sincerely, Mirza Masroor Ahmad, Khalifatul Masih V, head of the worldwide Ahmadiyya Muslim community.